Hello, I am Louise Weard, the director, writer, star, producer, et al. Of Castration Movie, which is a series of films I make in Canada. And I'm so happy today to be at the Arrow Video Store showing you some of my favorite movies. Beautiful. Oh my God, there's so much to pick here. Jodorowsky box set. These movies used to be so hard to find. I had to like rent a copy of El Topo from my local video store. It's kind of great because you see El Topo and you're like, oh my God, I have to start doing psychedelic drugs. And then you see Holy Mountain. And like the theme of that movie is please stop doing drugs. And it's kind of perfect. It's like a beautiful journey. And I don't think I'd be the filmmaker I am today without like the power that these movies had on me when I was a young preteen and was discovering like my first cult movies. All right, now we're getting into some real picks. Stuff I don't have yet. Jorg Budgereit. I remember my filmmaking partner, who I made movies with throughout all my 20s, Dion Copeland and I was like, hey, we've got to watch Necromantic. And I think we made it 5 minutes in before she said we have to turn this movie off. Shram, which is like his serial killer movie. There is a scene where our titular serial killer is driving nails into his foreskin, and like highly recommend, great movie. But the masterpiece in here is Der Todesking, which is like one of the most like visually incredible and beautiful like independent films I've ever seen. Let's go more fun, right? Like we gotta go more fun after that one. So let's pull out one of the all-time greatest American films, Tremors.
Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, Tremors.
My dream movie project would be like a legacy sequel to Tremors, like, you know, bring Kevin Bacon back, like make it like set in the suburbs or something. I think you could do a lot with Tremors, but point is, it's Jaws on land, which is in itself genius pitch. But the thing about Tremors that's so special to me is it's a movie that's all setups and payoffs. Like the first half of this film is literally just like setting up all of the little things that are going to then become the best set pieces ever later. You'll have like one scene where like a girl's hopping on like a pogo stick, and then that's gonna be a source of absolute terror half an hour later. And that is like, to me, like the most perfectly structured screenplay imaginable. I revisit this movie all the time. It's always a blast. Highly recommended. House of Laughing Windows. It's like, the fact that I can just like pick this up here is like insane. Which is right next to actually a copy of Crimes of Passion.
The most talked about movie of the year.
Potentially the best Ken Russell movie I discovered in like my 20s. Like I've always been like a lifelong Ken Russell fan. His horror is that of like blasphemy, and like it works because you can tell he's like a true believer, where like when he's like showing like the crucifixion imagery in this or Lair of the White Worm or The Devils, it's like, you know, like he feels like he's gonna go to hell for what he's doing, and that is sublime to me. Like I think that his explorations of like faith within a genre context is like some of the most interesting filmmaking. This film especially is just remarkably beautiful and scary. The Tony Perkins performance is unbelievably weird. Just an incredible movie. Kathleen Turner, like one of the best. And I think that this is like, next to Serial Mom, probably my favorite performance of hers. So I highly recommend it. Oh, the GOAT, Abel Ferrara, Driller Killer.
The Driller Killer is coming.
Highly recommend it for that like mean spirit you get from Abel Ferrara, and it's like him at his meanest, like you know, he plays like the lead, the titular driller killer in it, and you can see him like on screen working out like basically what it feels like to be an independent filmmaker and like trying to be an artist, and it's just like one of the most hardcore, insane movies I've ever seen. Of course, he reiterates that Bad Time in New York theme again with like Miss 45 and Bad Lieutenant, but like Driller Killer to me is like the most special watchable of all of those movies because it is like exactly what it is on the tin. Like, you know, you go in for driller killer, you're gonna get a driller killer. I've definitely taken a lot of like titling inspiration from the fact that it is what it is and it's perfect. Blind Beast, probably my favorite Masamura movie. It's like, you know, in one way like an Edgar Rampo adaptation, but in the other just like a showcase of like the way in which like Masamura is like one of the best like image makers of that like Japanese New Wave period. When I think of him, I think of Giants and Toys, I think is like a great movie that's much more in that comedic zone, but then like to have the range to go and do something like Blind Beast that is like just one of the most like feel bad explorations of psychopathic sexuality I've ever seen. It's everything like I would want to be as an artist, and I think that you're not seeing you know, set design that captures like the surreal in such an impactful and beautiful way. So yes, like Masamura's Blind Beast in the bag. Just gonna shout out my one of my all-time faves, Sogo Ishii. He is one of the most influential filmmakers on me. First City is like a hell of a lot of fun. Like it's more in line with his batshit gonzo cyberpunk explorations like Electric Dragon, 80,000 Volts or something. But for me, what he captures so great is like that the intersection of like not just like showing punk rock imagery, but also like bringing that into the formalism of the movies. Any sort of subject matter he takes, he is able to imbue the style with such like an insane like anarchic energy that like has definitely been like a big influence on my work and my shooting style. Another one I highly recommend checking out is Crazy Thunder Road. Is like unbelievable and has like that amazing turn where you just see like a guy kind of picked on the whole time and then he finally snaps, which is like one of the all-time like greatest like structural turns you can possibly do. So highly recommend that. Highly recommend Burst City. Literally everything this guy touches is like solid gold to me. One of my favorite directors. Beg. Boom. Allison Anders, one of the all-time greats, Gas Food Lodging. I feel like we don't talk about this movie enough. Like to me, this is like as seminal as like Reservoir Dogs or Clerks or like any of those sorts, or El Mariachi or whatever, which, you know, I could pull out the Mexico trilogy, which is up here, and talk about Rodriguez, but I'm gonna focus on Anders. This movie is so tremendously beautiful. And it kind of is crazy that you can take something that is so small and so focused on like coming of age of young women, but then like the ending is like genuinely like shocking and melodramatic in a way that is like so subtle in terms of its formal presentation, but is like so spiritually and universally heartbreaking. And it's a movie that's so deeply about love in all these different forms and so deeply about womanhood, and Anders to me is like leading the charge in terms of like the type of cinema I'm most inspired by. So going in the bag. I think I gotta finish off here with talking about my boy Richard Kelly, and of course his masterwork, Southland Tales.
There'd be a lot less violence in the world if everyone just got a little more cardio.
This was a movie that I heard about because I was an immense fan of Donnie Darko when I was a kid, because it was like, you know, kind of hitting me at the age like right when that was starting to become a cult movie was when I first saw it. And so I became immensely obsessed with that film, and at the promise of another Richard Kelly film, like a follow-up to Donnie Darko, was huge for me. And this movie was like, you know, I was like waiting for this to come out. I was so excited to see it. There was nowhere I could go see it theatrically. And finally, we were visiting family one summer, and the local video store got in a copy of Southland Tales on DVD. I was sitting there transfixed on the screen, absolutely adoring every second of it. And my friend, who was not indoctrinated, was looking at me like I was a crazy person, thinking that this was the worst movie he had ever seen in his entire life. And it was kind of like the moment I realized, like, oh, I don't like movies like normal people. Like I'm fundamentally broken with cinephilia. This release is incredible. I never thought I'd get like a special edition of Southland Tales. It is like kind of remarkable. I am gonna say something potentially controversial. Stick to the theatrical cut. That's what I grew up with. That's what is perfect to me. Definitely watch the other one. Like the can cut is like a curious fascination, but stick to that beautiful theatrical cut on here. It's a perfect film. Also, this is a movie where every single casting decision will blow your mind, whether that's like Wallace Shawn as an insane tech oligarch.
What? How dare you?
To The Rock as like the savior of the universe. When I pitched this movie, I'm like, Richard Kelly is like a frat boy who discovered Philip K. Dick. And Philip K. Dick is my favorite writer of all time. So this movie like could not be more made for me. And it is like to me, like just the epitome of like what bold postmodern film form and storytelling can be. I think that this is like the blueprint for everything I will ever do is Southland Tales, which I think means that my work will be probably equally as divisive as this movie, but you know what? I think it's very good company to be in. So I'll finish off today in the Arrow Video Store with my favorite of all time, Southland Tales. And thank you guys all so much for having me. It's going in the bag.